bed, so I have to leave my bedroom.
Oh,
All right. Before we get started, just want to mention that this podcast that me and Shannon hold is for anybody going through the spiritual path, or anybody that has a twin flame or divine partner, or wants to speak about non-duality. It's an open space for us to speak about any of that, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through. And then we also want to be able to offer you guys some one-on-ones if you're wanting to speak to us about any of that. If you want to speak about your twin flame or spiritual path or non-duality, we also will be able to do that. Our email addresses are going to be in the description box below on the YouTube channel. And I'm going to hand it back to Shannon. And Shannon, kick us off.
okay. So something that came up for me today, well, not today, but throughout the week, was the last few Zooms back, we were talking about trauma, Yasmin, and how it comes up for you. And it actually comes up for me too. But with me, it comes up for when it comes to like my health, when it comes to like my family. But with me, there's this realization that it is what it is, and I just deal with it head on now. It's more raw in my face, and like there's this realization that there's no seeking or healing, no nothing that I can do right now, do to fix what's happening. Because when you're trying to fix one emotion or energy, whatever you want to call it, another one will appear shortly after that. And it's like a revolving door. It's like a dog chasing its tail. Now, is there anything wrong with the person trying to heal that? No, absolutely not. But it will just become a vicious cycle, because you're trying to control something that you can't control, because energy is very spontaneous and it's constantly arising. So for me, when trauma does happen, it's like with me, it's more like head on, and it's in my face, and it will stop when it stops. It will end when it ends.
And so I have a trauma and you have a trauma, and it's like our biggest fear, right? And it comes up so much stronger now, and then it kind of dissipates, like, in a way. But for me, last week I was trying to find some way to get rid of it, but that doesn't happen. Like right now, I can't think of that anymore. It's like there's moments of that, and then it disappears. But like all I'm really trying to say to everybody about the trauma, it's not like you get out of non-duality like free of no fears and free of life, and life circumstances, like shit is still scary. Like, yeah, we don't have this big cloud over us about death anymore, but things are still upsetting, and you can still fucking freak out, over things that you used to freak out about. I don't know if Monique has anything to say about that.
Well, yeah, like right now, there's an apparent situation in my life with my daughter and her children's dad. Like, my grandson is basically being held hostage. And while she was here for the holiday, he broke into her condo. And like, she has my grandson on video. Like, he made my grandson turn the cameras down and everything in her house. It's a stalking situation at this point. He has an apparent like obsession with my daughter. So yeah, they can still, not to get into all that stuff, but there's still a fear here, not only for my daughter, but for my grandchildren. The 3-year-old is with my daughter. He's threatening to come and take her physically from her. And she had to call the police and have them come over and do a report and all that stuff yesterday. And there's fear here, there's fear here. It doesn't stick, but I didn't go to sleep like in the old cycle where the mind would just take over, and you'd have all these thoughts. It's going to come kill her, blah, 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 blah. Like, those thoughts may come, but they don't like get into a cycle where you're, can't function. But yeah, at least for here. But yeah, there's still a fear, upset, sadness, anger at him for putting the kids and my daughter through it, like anger that I have to do, like, but then it's fine. Like, because you can't, it's realized there's no control anyway. There's no one in control. There's no one who can control this. So you just kind of, at least for me, I just kind of like get back into, like the thoughts, just, I don't believe the thoughts. I know that sounds like a physical, there who's believing the thoughts, but there's no attachment to those thoughts anymore. So as soon as it's recognized that the mind is kind of like trying to, then
Talk.
it's gone. Yeah, it's kind of
Like,
just gone after that. And then I just feel the wow of now, basically. It's just always what's happening, what's
so like,
unfolding.
like shit happens. There's shit happening in everybody's life, and you can be scared of shit. You could be worried about your family. You could be fighting with your family. It's just our stories have stopped. The
Yeah.
story of what's going to happen. Oh, I'm going to come and kick his ass later. Oh, I mean, all the things that used to keep us awake and worried and all those, it's like everything's still happening the way it's happening. It's just in your face so much. And now the blah, blah, blah has ended. The blah, blah, the blah, all the fucking blah, blah. And
The narrative.
I noticed that this week because there were some stories trying to talk. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't had a story for so long. And I was like, oh shit, that's how I used to live. Like I used to be like, oh, I'm so tired of my mind. And I never say that anymore because it's kind of blank. I'm like kind of an airhead most of the time. And we
Yeah.
don't appreciate that. I mean, I'm like, oh shit, I used to say what if, I used to have scenarios, I used to have all these things. So I don't know, Shannon, you have all your stories stopped for you?
No, everything appears to happen, but it's more like it is what it is for me. Like the story still comes up, the mind chatter comes up, all that stuff comes up, but there's no more like
It doesn't stay.
it's just there. It comes up and then it goes. It's there and it comes up and then it goes. And it's
Not
just like
sticky. No sticky.
yeah,
No
there's no
sticky.
stickiness there.
There was
Well, I
something.
don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know, Shannon, if you have your next thing you want to talk about.
Yes. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was, I don't know about you guys, but I really tried to do a reading on my YouTube channel and my mind goes completely blank. I literally like cannot. Nothing is happening over here. Like I'm trying to read and it's like, it's just not, I don't even, and I even had someone just ask me to do a reading for them. And I'm just like, I'm forcing myself to do it because it's nothing is there. It's like, nothing's coming up for me. I don't know if that's happened to you, but it's just not, and with the whole conspiracy theory thing too. Like I used to be really like in the conspiracy theories. Now it's like, I listen to it, but then I keep going because it doesn't, what I mean? It's just not, I don't know.
No, I mean, I understand you because I haven't worked for like 3 weeks now. And I can't. I just can't. I don't know. It's like I get a phone call and I just hang up on their face. Like I don't know what to do. I don't know why it's happening. I'm not even telling anybody it's happening, but I think for you, the readings are talking about the future, right? And we live in this like now, and it's like you're just like there's nothing to say, but I know that feeling. I can't speak sometimes. I can't move. I can't make a move. I can't. You're just like frozen, but not in like a disassociated state that's like unhealthy. It's just
Right.
you just can't. You just can't do it. I don't know. Has it come up for you, Monique?
Yes, that's funny. You should mention that because I haven't worked since the middle of September. And I mean, I'm okay. I sold my house. I did well. And I'm living with my daughter and helping her around here and taking care of the baby. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
I don't know
I had zero, like zero, zero. Like I know I have to do
motivation.
something, nothing. Like I'm like, I could be an airline, a flight attendant because they hire women my age and it's like basically part-time. And all I have to do is sit on an airplane and pass out peanuts and make sure everyone's seated during the flight and go through instructions. I could do that. Um, or I could go back. But when I think about going back to like my career, I think, oh shit. Like, I mean, I could, but there's no
I can't
motivation.
work that hard anymore. I can't.
No, I can't. I don't think I could do that either. Like, I have to figure that who's figuring it out. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to. Something, I believe, like something just appears the way it's, because there's no one doing it. So something, I think, will appear on the apparent path, and then I think that's how that's going to go. Usually that's how I think it goes. I don't know, or doesn't, but I think something will appear, and I'll know. I don't know. All I know is like you, there's no motivation to do anything. And what you were talking about, Shannon, about the readings and stuff, just a quick like tangent. When this whole apparent journey started, like I had never watched a tarot card in my entire life. But when my twin and I apparently, whatever the whole separation thing, I was binge watching. I'm like tarot card readings for about 3 months, like nonstop, 7, 8, 9 a day, like insanity. So I don't know if I've never watched them anymore, but when the person was watching them, there was an obsession with watching tarot readings.
I've always been that way. I mean, I've always been like in the story, I've always been intuitive and very like, things have always happened for me in the story when it comes to all that stuff. Even like when I was talking to Yasmin about like spirit seeing ghosts and stuff like that, all that shit has always been like, I've always been attached, I'm not attached, but always, it's always been my story. Tarot readings, astrology, you fucking name it. Like, that's always been my thing. Not religion, not spirituality, none of that. None of that shit ever came up in my story, in the character's story. It's always been that stuff. And now it's more like it's just nothing. There's just nothing there. And as far as the future, a lot of my readings I try to focus on now when I'm reading them, because I always tell people like, I can't read the future. That's just not what I do. But I focus on what they're going through right now. But even with that, it's like, I can't, it's just, it's blank. There's just nothing coming up for me. And I've tried, like I said, I tried to do a tarot reading just not too long ago on my YouTube channel. And I hate it because I have, a lot of my people that follow me, they look forward to that shit. And now it's like, it's just not coming up.
It's just the scene. Go ahead.
It's just like more and more is falling off of the person, like it just, I don't know. I can't do certain things that I did before. I just can't. It's just like I freeze, like, it's just empty. There's no meaning behind it. For me, I was like super religious, super spiritual. And my boyfriend was like, oh, I was going to buy you a Jesus photo for Christmas. And I was like, don't buy that, because I have like 20 of them in my room. I'm like, I can't do that anymore. Like it's so, I don't know. It just doesn't, it's just, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing there anymore. There's no meaning. There's no, when before it was everything to me, it's just all these things fall off, I guess. But Monique, go ahead. I know you wanted to say something.
No, I was going to say something that came up today, and not to get into the whole twin flame thing at all, but something that I found to be odd. I was riding my motorcycle. The day was beautiful. I mean, it was, just unfolding. It was beautiful. I was enjoying. Finally, it's warm in Florida. It was 77-degree day. I'm like, woohoo! I'm gonna ride my bike. I'm gonna go check out this Harley dealership. Not that I'm really into that at all. I'm not like a biker, but I got a $25 gift card for Christmas from a friend, and I'm like, I want to go buy a t-shirt. And they're always like $70 anyway, so whatever. But so I rode there, had a great time. I was on my way back. I have like little speakers on my bike, and I had my one of my Pandora channels playing, and this David and I song came up, right? And like, without even like thinking about it, tears were rolling down my face. Like, but it wasn't like this deep sadness, but all of a sudden there were tears.
The
And I
body
was like,
just expressed itself
yeah, I
without
was like,
even feeling.
where is this coming from? But I was like, not sobbing, but I had my sunglasses on and there was tears falling out. I'm like, and then like it was like for just a minute, and this hasn't happened for a while. I missed him. I was like, it's not like before where you can relive the memories because it's just not like that anymore. But there were a couple of like apparent still like memories I could feel from, which I have, you guys know what I'm talking about, like, because
Yeah.
there's no feelings attached. But for a minute there were, and not deep, but enough that I was like feeling
Sad.
sad. And I'm like, well, fuck. I was like, because it's not something that was expected.
Yeah, I
Well,
know what you're saying because that was going on with me with mine for a minute there, the one I just recently stopped talking to. And it's completely okay. I mean, it's just what's coming up for you and it will end when it ends. You know what I mean? There's no rules to this. There's no rules for that not coming up for you. You know what I mean? I have my moments where it comes up, but it's not sticky though. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
comes up, you're
Yeah.
feeling it, you're crying, and then it goes. You know what I mean? And it's completely natural. It's normal.
I spoke about my twin yesterday, because me and my boyfriend were talking about all our exes, and I was telling him about him, and I was nervous because he said to me, "What if he comes back and wants you back?" And I got I had some emotion for my twin and some, oh shit, what if he does just show up? Like, what would I do? Because he kind of asked me those questions, and I felt deep emotion for my twin, but then it just like vanished. It's like I felt it very strongly. I still think that my twin is a significant person, but I'm not going to be with him anymore. I can't be with him, but my body still reacts to.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy because my energy changed, like it was like rattled. I was rattled by it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about him today, but because I brought it up yesterday, I was like, oh shit, what if he shows up in my face? Like, what if your twins show up right now, guys?
There's no telling. Like, there's no telling.
I don't know.
Anything can apparently happen in the story. Anything, like nothing ever stops. Just because you have this realization doesn't mean that anything is, it's just all that stops and comes with. Things still come up. They'll continue to come up. It's just now there's no more stickiness to it. Like it happens and then it goes, and it happens and it goes. It's constantly arising.
Yeah, I don't think there was fear there that there was always an undercurrent of fear with that thought. Like, what if he just called, or I saw his name on my phone? Because I think we play that out over the years of this journey or whatever. The person plays that scenario out. What if he showed up on my door? And I just feel like it's so seen now that he's just another apparent person. There's no separation between him and I or the doorknob. It's all the same, right? Like I noticed that today in the car while I was driving, that thought, not about him, but about the separation issue, a parent issue. And I thought about it and I looked at my phone and I didn't feel even separate from that. Like I was looking at my phone on my GPS and I was like, and a person walking down the street, there was just this love for them. Like not the old love. It was just different. Like there's just like, that's me, a feeling of that they are me, I am them. It just was so obvious. And it gets, it's not something you think about every day, but when it comes up, I don't know if that comes up for you guys, but there's just no feeling of separateness from anything anymore.
Sometimes I feel like a big blob.
I know. Yeah.
Like I'm this big, like this big, like, I don't even know how. It's funny when you're talking about it because you can't explain it. There's no way in the world that I could sit down with somebody and say, you know what I feel like? It's like,
You can't.
you can't, the words don't come out. yeah, there's no separation, but you also can't even think that there's no separation. It just is all,
It just is.
you know, and
Yeah.
it's like, it's so weird and hard to explain. And I don't know how Shannon, how she sees it.
I don't know. I don't
You can't even
feel
think about it.
anything. I don't, yeah, it doesn't come up for me, but fear does still come up. Everything comes up for me.
Yeah.
Fear, apparently fear comes up. I don't know what that is. I don't know what emotion comes up anymore, but it is what it is anymore for me. Like, I don't put a label on it. Whatever's coming up for me just comes up. Where before I was like, oh my God, I'm so depressed. I'm so blah, blah, blah. That is not there. But in the story, it's fear. In the story, it's worry, it's doubt. But,
when you say the word depression, I don't know if this happens for you guys, or it doesn't even, it feels foreign now. It doesn't even feel like, do you see what I'm saying?
In the story,
honestly say I'm depressed because I'm not, that doesn't exist. It doesn't even feel real to say it. It's like, you can't even tell someone I'm feeling depressed because it feels dishonest. It feels like, no, that's not.
Because you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. But I, when people are talking to me, it's like, I have to like come up with something. So it's like, and I don't really usually use depression. It's mostly like, I've had a bad day or whatever. Depression does sound foreign, don't it? It doesn't mean anything.
I feel like for me, like like I can't even say like I'm gonna cry. I just cry. Like I can't say I'm gonna get mad. I'm just mad. There's no more like I'm gonna, reach something. It just, like just
exactly. It just pops out of you.
It just like pops out of me. I just cry. You're like, or I'm sad. And it's so strong when it hits me and overwhelming, and it's just processes or whatever the hell it is. I don't know, but it happens. And then it's like, oh yeah, what's that? Like if I had, it's so immediate. I'm an immediate raw human
in your
being.
Face.
You can't even like, protect yourself in a way the way you used to. Like, oh, I don't want to show someone this emotion. I don't want to show them I'm crying. I don't want to show somebody that I'm depressed. You just get depressed. You just get sad. You just get angry. And it's just super raw, super raw. That's all I can say is that it's just living life raw.
I rant. I still rant. I'll be like, motherfucker.
Me too.
I'll be going on like, instead of, but then all of a sudden it just goes away. And I don't even remember it even have, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of happens, or like, you fucking piss me off. Especially at my daughter, like we be going at it.
My daughter counseled me this morning because Ava was here, my little granddaughter, and she left the other day, and she left this little carton, the half milk carton of bubblegum balls, right, for her little grab claw machine I got her. So I have the half open carton of bubblegum balls, and Madison, my other daughter, bumps in me in the kitchen, and 50 fucking bubblegum balls go flying all over the floor. So I'm swearing, goddamn. And she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I know, it's not you. So I pick up all the goddamn bubble gum balls. And then I go to put the pots and pans away. And you know how there's shelving? Well, then the shelf collapses and all the pots and pans. So now I'm in there making up combos. I've got a whole new swear words that I'm combining with. And she hears me under there, motherfucking I said, someone should have told me this thing needed repaired. I would have fixed it. And then she's like, oh my God, Mom, you're so negative. And I'm thinking, I didn't even know you were in here hearing me, bitch.
You could have been like, I don't know what that is.
She leaves all hot and mad out of the kitchen, right? And I'm under there pissed off. And it probably did last at that point like 5 minutes because I'm in there. I have to repair the shelf, and put the little holy things back in and stick the shelf back down and then reorganize all the pots and pans. So I got it done. And I remember feeling like irritated for a couple of minutes. And I remember thinking, this is weird. It's lasting longer than it normally does. But anyway, she goes and does her things. 3 or 4 hours later, she comes home and comes back in the kitchen. She goes, no, I was thinking about this morning. What you really need to do is listen to podcasts to calm down. I said, Madison, I had a moment. It was a moment. I said, I'm still a human being. You had a moment at Legoland yesterday. I said, listen, it happens. We all have our moments. I said, and I was fine. But it's funny. Like there's a story, my daughter, and that's fine. She has the story about, she obviously thought about it all day. And I didn't
Oh my
think
God.
about it.
You know what's funny is my sister the other day said to me that I need to self-reflect, and I bursted out cracking up so bad because I think about it, guys. There's no more two. There's no
Who's
more
doing it?
there's no more self. I'm gonna step back and self-reflect, and I just cracked up. She's like, "Why are you laughing? I really think you need to self-reflect because you're really angry." And I was like, "I just got really angry, and it is what it is." But it was crazy because when she said it, I tried to step back to self-reflect, and there was no two. There's only
irony.
one. Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I was in the trunk in my car. I don't think it was the trunk of my car. I was talking to my daughter, and she goes, "Mom, you just needed something to do with God." And I was like, "There is no fucking God." Like, oh, here you go again. I was like, never mind.
And this is, God, people are going to be watching this, and I don't know.
I understand.
I do mock, and I don't mean to. I just feel like I'll do, "Oh, I'm going to be healed, river now, righteous said to me today, children, go out there and preach the word." I'll just go out there and do that in the kitchen sometimes, just playing around with my daughter. And she says, "Mom, you're burning in hell." And I said, "Probably."
It's funny. I
but the
can't
thing
talk
is,
about
I'm
it.
not being mean. I'm not being mean. I just don't believe it. To me, it just seems like so funny now. Like it's not real.
Does.
And it's so abundantly clear to whatever this is that it's not real, that it just becomes funny now. Even though I'm not judging, I don't mean it in a judgy way. It just, to me, there's so much humor in it.
It is.
I was super religious myself, like super, super religious. So I can talk to you guys about it. I can't say it as freely as Shannon can say it because I was super attached and super religious, and I would never tell anybody it, but there is no more belief here. And that was devastating for me when I had to let go. So I had to let go of my twin, and I had to let go of God. And it was like a disaster here because I was like 5 years old holding the Bible kind of girl, So yeah, there's no more meaning behind the Bible, religion, spirituality, but I can't say it as freely as maybe Shannon can say it or anybody else because I still have some like loyalty or something. I don't know. It's just, even though there's no more belief and there's no such thing, I get it. It fell off for me, but I still kind of like.
Do you find like freedom in that at all though? And so much of peace in that? Like there's no more, you don't have to worry. Like the person's not here to worry about your soul or you doing anything wrong, because that's impossible. I mean,
the wrong thing. Like, oh my God. Cause I was very like codependent and feeling guilty about certain things all the time. It's like, no, I can't do wrong because it's not even me doing it. There's nobody doing it. And nobody's really wrong because they're not doing it either. It's like, that is freedom. That is.
And I can't relate to you because I was never super religious.
Yeah.
I didn't become religious until my divorce. And that's when I started seeking out and wanting help, and my friend who was super religious was like, "Have you ever thought about talking to God?" And I'm just like, "No." I said, "How do you even do that?" That's how I lived an ordinary life. Like I was raised around, my mother was very religious, but me and my brother, we just kind of, we did our own thing. We weren't religious people. And so when she was like, "Reach out to God," I'm like, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. She's like, "Open up a Bible, go to church." So I did. And that's when it happened.
Wow.
So with you, it's like, I can't relate because, you being religious is something, you were raised around.
I was in between non-denominational churches, like big, like Calvary, big fun churches with big bands and choirs, and very like not, non-denominational. I grew up, my grandma was a Jehovah's Witness. I mean, my mom Catholic, Lutheran, you name it. I raised my kids in church. My little kid, when they were little, my kids, the Catholic church. But all of that for all three of them has fallen away, even though the realization hasn't happened for, my two daughters yet. Definitely, they don't believe in any of the structure of religion anymore. They don't believe in hell, any of that stuff. They,
Yeah.
they're more spiritual than anything else.
Yeah.
Which is, whatever.
Guys, I have something that's come up for me. Can I share and talk to you guys about it?
Yeah.
Of course.
So I've noticed that the three of us, like I've noticed since non-duality, there's this, and when I was on the path, spiritual path, there's no, like I used to be an independent woman, making my own money, working hard, trying to climb the ladders, doing crazy shit. And that's like no longer, I don't know, right? I don't know tomorrow if I'm gonna be like, I want to do all that. We don't know. But it's another person here. Like not another person. Okay. I just can't, all of that fell off for me. That independent woman working hard. I don't know. Like, do you guys have anything to say about that? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, trying to, just you wanted to be that independent, strong woman. Is that what you're saying? At
Yeah,
one
and
time?
now it's not
there.
like I'll take someone's help and I don't care. And it's like,
Same.
okay,
I feel like we've talked about that though. Remember? And I was just like you in that way. I'm very
too.
alpha, like we're alpha women. We're alpha females. I had my own business. I had things going for myself. I didn't work for the state, made good money. And I was all about being that woman, right? Even my ex-husband that lived with me, I was the bread maker. I wanted it that way. I wanted him to rely on me because I wanted to be that woman.
David
came to live with me. I had my own house, raised 3 kids, worked 3 jobs when they were little. And then I, went back to school, got my certificates for phlebotomy, was a head assistant at my office, was a head of the back, and had all car payment, house, all my, very independent, just me. And I left, my husband and I got divorced like 20 years ago or more, 25. So yeah, I hear you. And that's gone. I don't mind having help. I don't mind, I don't seek it. I don't think you should help me or anything like that.
It just happens.
It just happens. And I find that I'm more helpful as well to others. I'm more giving as far as how can I help you? Nicer to people at the grocery store or whatever, unless someone's a dick to me, they cut me off in traffic. I'm chasing you down and my fingers coming right out for the window. But that's just what's happening.
Well, I was like a really big bitch when I was an independent woman. I was really stressed out. I was always mad. I was always angry, working so hard, paying bills. And I was a bitch, and now I am more loving and more caring because I'm not really doing shit, but I don't know. I mean, I've noticed that a lot of people lose maybe their old careers or their old ways of, I don't, and the thing is I have no future plans. I don't know how it's going to go. I just know that I'm not working today. I don't know if I'm going to work tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to want to be a marathon runner tomorrow. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But it's like this, there's no more, there's nothing.
I feel it. I'm not working either. Only time I work is when I want to make a little bit of money with DoorDash. I do DoorDash. Yeah. And I do it when I can. I mean, it's not like a must anymore. Like I have to work. I'm all about I'm not trying to be a slave to the system. I'm not trying to have somebody tell me what to do and blah, blah, blah.
Right. I don't know if I could go back to that either, guys. Can I go back to working for someone? I don't know. There's, I do crafting stuff. So my kids are bugging me about making reborns, the babies I made for my daughter.
Oh my gosh. You got to see it, Yasmin. It's unreal. The baby dolls that she makes, they look real as fuck. When she
God, Monique, you got to Facebook me, send me a picture.
I was like, what the?
But yeah, I'm thinking about taking a professional reborn class and maybe selling those on the side because people are crazy for those. But that might be a little side hustle. I don't know. Like right now, I'm not concerned. I'm gonna go finish up, the holidays and go to Laguna with my daughter, and then after that, I'll decide something will hopefully push the button and motivation because I was like, I could do this. I could sit here and just take care of the grandbaby half the day and ride my motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like
Clean the house.
simple.
I like it.
There's like a very simpleness to this life. I feel like I look back at the life that I had, and it was so filled with things to do and money to make, and it was just like unnecessary, a lot of things. Like, I don't know, it's just a different life, but I wanted to bring that up. But Shannon, I know you have a list of things to talk about, so what else is on your list?
We only got 4 minutes, unless you want to do a second one. I don't know how y'all feel, but
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I don't know, whatever you're down up
how do you
for.
guys feel?
We can do a part 2. What time is it? Just can I ask?
It's 3:39.
30.
I have to go somewhere at 7 here. So it might be just you guys. I promised Madison I'd go to dinner with her.
I mean, we can you want to do another one, Yasmin, or
Yeah, if you want, we could just cut this. I think it was great if you
yeah,
want to.
because we got 3 minutes, because I'll just save the rest for later, for next time.
But it was nice. It was nice to talk to you guys, and it's nice
I
to.
love you guys. I'm so glad I found you guys. Like, you've been so amazing to be able to talk to you too and share this to with us and new folks coming on who are
Right.
these things. It's great.
Form a sisterhood.
I'm a
Maybe we all can
sisterhood
meet in
girl.
person one day. You know what I mean? I would love that.
It's going to happen. That's gonna happen. We're gonna make that happen.
Okay, I'm in Los Angeles, California. You gotta come here, all right?
We're going to LA.
We're going to LA, baby.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
today.
Have a good
Love
New
you guys.
Year's. Happy
All right.
New Year's.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye.